Blessed are those. Wow. We better finish. Let's do the last line. Who seek him with the whole heart. Now, again, notice this repetition. God says there's a blessing attached to those who keep. Now, it's very interesting. One of the Bible study methods you can use is the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, but the Hebrew Old Testament, 200 years before Jesus' time, was translated into Greek. It's called the Septuagint, LXX. And these 72 geniuses in Egypt took the Hebrew Old Testament and put it as a translation into the language of the day, Greek. So you can look up the Hebrew word keep and find what those scholars used as a New Testament Greek word and find that word in the New Testament. And when you do that, the Hebrew word translated into the Septuagint as keep in Greek is the same word that's used for the guards who were posted to guard the tomb of Jesus. They were keeping him. They were guarding him. They were making sure no one got him. Of course, God overruled and sent the angel, and you know the story. It's the same word that's used for when Paul was put in prison, when Peter was put in prison. It's the word for guarding. And what it means is that you protect. Have you ever met someone that they love their car, and you walk up and you put your, like anything on their car, and they say, don't put anything on, you're going to scratch my paint, Or when you're pointing to a computer screen, if they really love their computer, they say, don't touch it, you're going to get your fingerprint on there. They're guarding it. It's very important to them. Look what the Lord says. I will bless those who guard my testimonies. That's the, let's see, what number are we on? So this is the first. The way is the first description. The law is the second description. And the testimonies are the third description God gives of his word. And his testimonies is God's expert witness about what is true. I had a friend in Oklahoma who was a petroleum something, and he was always getting flown all over the place for big legal proceedings as an expert witness. And, he was going to help the case, and so these big law firms paid him and, really provided for him to be this expert witness. And he loved flying all over the place and doing nothing but telling what he knew about the industry. They accepted his testimony because he was an expert, petroleum geologist. God says, you will be blessed if you believe my testimonies. I am the only true witness about your origin. Nobody else knows how you got here but me, the human race, the universe. God says, I'm the witness to all that. I'm the only one that can tell you your purpose in life because I designed you from the molecular level, from the DNA double helix upward. I designed you, especially all of your unchangeable features, and what family you came into, and what time period you came into. And I even put into you all your gifts and abilities and all of your spiritual DNA and your physical DNA. I designed it all, God said. Will you guard what I say is true? I will tell you what is true, and you'll know more than all your teachers if you believe me. And even if the whole world is against you, Athanasius contra mundum. Remember Athanasius was at a council where he's the only one that believed the Bible, and everyone else didn't. He said, I'll stand against the world because I know what God said and I believe it. God says, go through life believing my testimonies, but if you're going his way, trusting his teachings, believing his testimonies, it only works when you seek him with all of your heart. Now that takes us back to where I started. The only way this book changes our life is if it has precedence and priority over all other sources of information. Because if not, God's truth gets diluted. It's kind of like, when my dad used to work for General Motors and he was on strike. Seems like they were always on strike, and they didn't get paid, and I don't know, the UAW helped us a little bit, but my mother could make one pot of soup last for 3 meals. It just got progressively more water and less soup, but she just kept adding and would heat it up again. Did you know that the pure truth of the word gets diluted by all those other sources that we prefer over the truth?